We know that influenza was here, and we know that last week Charleston, which collects all the information from around the state, declared us to be in the influenza season. Definitely the strain we're dealing with is the influenza H1N1, which may sound familiar because that's the one we had back in 2009 when we had the pandemic. All the indications is that this is going to be a little different because it is this strain. Now, as far as the onset of the season, we're pretty much doing what we normally do. It starts around end of December, January, February is when we usually peak, and that's on the average. And that's exactly what we're doing right now. However, normally when we look at the mix of people who are most affected, the people we tell to get the vaccinations are the seniors and the pediatrics, because these are the people who are influenced the most by the influenza season, along with people who have underlying conditions. And we try to really emphasize that they get their influenza shots. Don't get me wrong, we want everybody to get an influenza shot because it helps everybody when everybody gets a shot. However, H1N1 from 2009 was specifically different because it also affected young adults. And those are the people from 18 to 35. And that's what we're seeing right now, not only here in West Virginia, but also if you follow the news reports from the health departments throughout the United States, they're seeing the same thing. You're seeing young adults are being targeted, which is very much not the norm for influenza. So this year we're going to have a different kind of year in the fact that we're really going to want everybody to get a shot because it's going to influence everybody this year. Well, you get your runny nose, your headache, your high fever, things like this. Basically, you don't feel well. The best thing to do is you could have a cold, you could have the influenza. The best thing to do is go see your physician, especially if you have an underlying condition or are a senior or are a pediatric patient. The best prevention, obviously, is get your flu shot. And we say that because a lot of people say, well, it's my decision to get a flu shot or not to get a flu shot because it just affects me. And a lot of people need to realize that it also affects everybody around you. When you don't get a flu shot and you get the flu, then you're going to be spreading the flu to other people. So really, when you get the flu shot, you not only protect yourself, you protect the people around you. That's the initial thing. The other things you can do is, if you get sick, stay home. Don't take the flu to work. If you know that there are people that you're working with in the office or whatever, or you meet out on the street, keep a distance. Usually a sneeze will travel about 10 feet. We say a sneeze because the flu is primarily transferred by droplet infection. When you sneeze, cough, or speak, you spew out droplets, and that's the way you infect somebody else. So keep your distance. Other thing is, when you sneeze, cover your mouth. We suggest you do what we call sneeze into your sleeve, like this. This way everything goes into your sleeve, your hands remain clean, and you can go on with what you're doing if you don't have time to wash or things like this. Washing is always important. Wash whenever you can, keep your hands clean. And if you're not sure before you eat your lunch or things like this, or have to blow your nose or touch your eyes and mouth, wash your hands. Because this is also, the flu will be on the surface in droplets too, which stay there for a little while, and you can actually touch the droplets on the surface and transfer them to your mouth or eyes and then infect yourself that way. And basically good health habits. Drink lots of water, get good sleep, try to lose the stress if you can at work. When you feel that you're having a problem, okay, the onset could be very small. You could start to sneeze, cough, feel achy. You need to make that decision as to, if you're not feeling well and you think you have the flu, you should go see your physician. Your physician is your primary care person. They'll help you decide. You may have a cold. The cold somewhat resembles the flu, and it takes a little bit of expertise sometimes to tell the difference. They'll help sort that out. If you're a person who's in those specific categories and they feel you have your flu, they're the ones who can give you an antiviral. They're the one who can decide if you're developing complications, if you should be put into the hospital. So your key person becomes here, visit your physician. Basically, the only treatment option you have is the antiviral, and that would be Tamiflu, and that is by prescription only. The other is just common sense. Stay home, get rest, stay warm. Those things are always the best thing you can do. But if your condition does get worse, your physician will prescribe an antiviral for you, and that is the main way that, besides the rest and things, that we can fight the flu.